What is happening, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Finn's Tailgate. I am your host, El Capitan, and tonight on the tailgate party that never seems to stop, we're going to discuss a few things. We're going to go through the Hassan Patel article that I wanted to go through last episode with Hassan on, but things didn't work out that way. Also, a couple of articles from Omar Kelly. We have 10 reasons why the Dolphins will make the playoffs and 10 reasons why they won't make the playoffs. I'll give some of my commentation on there. I'll tell you where I'll get it, figured out. And then I will adjust as I see fit along through the articles. And maybe it'll shake out to a different reason why we get in or don't get in. I think we can all agree that a lot hinges on coaching and a lot hinges on quarterback play because everyone else has either proven or shown enough. Well, okay, excuse me. In no order: quarterback play, offensive coaching, and offensive line. Those three things I think are the most important thing because everywhere else around here I've at least seen good football from on the defense, kicking, special teams, yada, 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 yada. We'll get into it all. But as you guys are coming in to the show, make sure you're hitting the like button. And if you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, or Twitter, come over to YouTube, become a part of the family, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and also join the membership. You can become an amigo, you can become familia, or you can become TFTG VIP, which will get you exclusive recorded videos early before anyone else. And those things will roll out as things start to move, as we mainstream our workflow, as Color would say, or streamline our workflow. Isn't that right, Color? But please hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure to catch out all the great content we have here on the network at Talk 7 TMI Tuesdays, live around 9. Color commentary co-host on there. That is later tomorrow night, guys. Thursday night, late night color commentary. Color getting it in. I seen him. He was on a couple of the other shows today. Shout out to my guys, Miami Sports Fanatics. They're getting real close to 1,000. Saturdays, late night exhale with Ali and Color. I mean, dude, them boys went till, Sunday. Every other night of the week, you can usually catch El Capitan doing his thing every time, TFTG style. Cash App, Venmo, support the channel. Fanatics, you can support the channel. Go to the link in the description below and get all your great sports apparel gear. We are official partners of Fanatics, and we want you to enjoy their gear or our gear. Come and get yourself some of the TFTG family style. Rock it like it's good. Get yourself a flag. Make sure to represent when you're at the tailgate party, and everyone go, "What's that?" Be like, "Bro, you ain't at the Fins tailgate unless you got a real Dolphins tailgate and flag," and that's the official Dolphins tailgating flag. And Super Chat is live. Help support the show, everybody. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the show and coming over to YouTube and getting with the family. What's up, QB1? Grandma Sweet Tea, color commentary. I see you, buddy. What's up, Jimmy? John, California, my guy. In here. Everybody in here early. Thank you. Jordan, what's good, buddy? Robert, what's going on? Matthew Hicks, how's it going? Yes, Matthew, those are the three major factors. And if you're watching and enjoying on Facebook, Matthew, we'd appreciate it. But you might want to come over to YouTube to get in with the family and talk to everybody else in the chat. Or it's up to it's your prerogative. So, let's see, guys. I think we'll start with. We can go into the play action pass and how that's going to be a factor for Tagovailoa this year, and something I think in the Mike McDaniel offense that's used often, as you guys can go back and watch the Hassan Patel interview. And thank you, Hassan, from 5 Reasons Sports Network, coming over here and sharing some time and wisdom with us and going through some things. And he does a lot of great work, guys. Make sure you're going and checking them out over there at 5 Reasons Sports Network, friends of the show. So, make sure to like and subscribe. I think, let me think, guys. What do you guys think? Should we start with the reasons why we're going to make it, or the reasons why not, why we could fall short? What's happening, me Mantis? What do you guys think? Should we start with the reasons why the Dolphins can get in or why they may not get in? Or should we start with Tua Tagovailoa and the play action pass? It's up to you guys. We'll take it any way you want. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Don't be shy, you guys. Color, what do you think? Go positive, Martina. Reasons won't. All right, we're 1-1. 1-1, guys. I wonder if I got a coin around this month. Tua gets injured. O-line struggles. Reasons we do. Robert, what's up? Miami Sports Fanatics. Gio, what's going on? What's good, King? Trying to decide on what we want to start with right now, guys. Why we won't, Bo. Reasons why we will get into the playoffs or why we won't get into the playoffs. Or should we start with we're gridlocked at 50-50 right now. Start off negative, then positive. All right, Jordan. I think Jordan's right, you guys. He's right. Let's start off with the negative. Yo, Matthew made it. Everybody welcome Matthew Hicks, new subscriber to the show. Came over from Facebook. Everybody welcome Matthew to the channel and to the family. Yep. And you should also worry about the man that carries stars and ravens on his shoulders. The man in the purple jacket with stars and ravens on his shoulders. So, all right, let's do 10 reasons why the Dolphins could fall short of the playoffs in 2022. What's happening, Most? Official family member up in here. La Familia. I'm glad you get it, you. All right. So, the Miami Dolphins have been submerged in mediocrity for the past 2 decades. No matter who was running the franchise, 7 different executives and general managers coaching the team, 8 non-interim head coaches. So, damn. 8 different coaches in the past 20 years, you guys, not including interim, which I think there's been 3 interim coaches in the past 20 years, if memory serves me correct. That would be Todd Bowles. That would be Bill Lazor. And that would be the coach of the Lions. What's his name? I'm forgetting it right now. But those are 3 coaches that have all been interim head coaches. I don't know. I can't think of any more. Or quarterbacks, which there have been 10 who have started 10 or more games in the last 20 years. At some point, we have to wonder, what's the root of Miami's struggles? The reason why this once proud franchise has qualified for the playoffs more than twice, hasn't qualified for the playoffs more than twice in the past 20 years. And we haven't won a playoff game since 2001. And I'll tell you what, guys, born, bred, been a fan. Dan Campbell, thank you, boys. Dan the Man Campbell, I don't know how I forgot that. You know what I'm saying? So, Gio, you going to give me that fucking Captain Sparrow hat? I'll get that shit, dude. I'll come over here all drunk, too. Start talking like it. I don't know. I'll watch a bunch of the shows, and I'll get the cadence down. I'll come in here and talk like them and everything. So, is this the year the Dolphins get their act together? It's the second of a 2-part series examining the potential issues. This breaks down the 10 things that could prevent the Dolphins qualifying from the postseason in 2022. So, guys, remember to hit the like button, but also remember, I didn't write this article. So don't shoot the messenger. It's Omar Kelly. And don't go, oh, Omar, yeah, he don't know what he's talking about. The guy's been around a long time, and I don't like everything the son of a bitch got to say, too. But I'll be damned if you're going to just go tell me he don't know what he's talking about. Because you don't cover NFL teams. You don't spend all your time around NFL players, and you most certainly don't write for a paper as long as you have to grow into prominence and not know what he's talking about. You don't have to like him. Matter of fact, it's kind of what makes him famous, isn't it? More haters, more haters, more haters, more paper, more paper, more paper. Straight up. So, anywho, his first reason, the most obvious of reasons to this lifelong Dolphin fan, because to me, if you have this category and it works out good, it can overcome deficiencies everywhere. And his first one is Tua Tagovailoa regresses as a starting quarterback. And that ain't no BS. So the Dolphins need Tagovailoa to become one of the league's top 10 quarterbacks this season to justify the investment that has been made with the 5th overall pick in 2020 NFL draft. Now I'm going to stop right there because I don't think he needs to be top 10. If he was, I'll tell you what, he's top 10 quarterback this year, which isn't out of the realm of possibility. He could be the 8th best quarterback, 10th, 5th best quarterback with the roster that they have, especially if things get clicking and Mike McDaniel really starts to do what he says he's going to do and what has been promised around here, that he is going to tailor make an offense, to accentuate Tua's strengths rather than, force a square peg into a round hole kind of thing. But I don't think he needs to be top 10 to justify everything. If he's 15 or better and our running game is, 15 or better, I will feel ecstatic as a Dolphins fan. And so should you, because with the defense to counterbalance 15th overall running game or more or better, and 15th overall quarterback player better, with that defense, we're looking at playoff football, and I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn around here because I think we're going to have a top 10, top 5 defense no matter what. So to get where Tagovailoa must stay healthy, improve his yards per attempt, 6.8 per attempt, which is nothing to write home about, which ranked him 24th last season, and needs to become a more efficient on third downs and in the red zone because those are the moments where elite quarterbacks thrive. If Tagovailoa struggles in them, it might be a sign for the franchise is built on a fraudy or faulty foundation. So I don't know if it would show it's built on a faulty foundation if Tua doesn't play at top 10. And if it all goes down, I will say this, that if things fall by the wayside, especially from the quarterback position, and my biggest worry is about his ability to stay healthy 17 games. That's honest. I think the guy's going to get it figured out. I think he looks a hell of a lot stronger in his throwing arm and his mechanics and stuff. I just worry about, that guy you don't see coming hitting him, and is he not going to get injured? And I don't care what anybody says, because he's had injury issues off and on in his career quite a bit, all the way dating back to high school. Now, I'm not going to write a guy off for nicks and injuries, and I certainly ain't going to write him off for a freak accident hip injury, which to me is 1 in a million type of shot. But you can't say that those things don't weaken the overall body. I broke my femur. Didn't make me stronger. Okay. So just being real. But he's still a young man, and I'm not going to hold my biggest worry against him. But if it all falls by the wayside from the quarterback position, I don't want to say that it's all for naught at the same time, because to me, coaching staff, everything as it is today, and the quarterback doesn't work out come next year, I believe this team is strong enough as far as cap goes and draft capital goes, and strong enough as far as a team constructed to pivot and fix the quarterback position via a young guy or a veteran, probably, to not have all of us go, well, what do we do now that the quarterback didn't work out? Just being real, guys. I know, listen, I want Tua to work out too, but I want the Dolphins to win a Super Bowl more than anything. So I'm just being real. All right, so the next thing on the list, Dolphins learn Tyreek Hill was a beneficiary of Andy Reid's play calling and the talent around him in Kansas City. Whoa, I did not see that coming as the second thing. That Tyreek Hill is an exposed item in free agency that the money's not worth. Now, listen, you're talking about that kind of money, and it would be so Dolphins if by some way now Tyreek Hill isn't as good at football as he seemed. Because we paid big dollars for Sue. He comes here, never looked like, I mean, listen, he had some great games and was effective, but he wasn't $100 million make your team better. That didn't give me one more win that I can count. No more wins than Cameron Wake got me. And I know Cameron Wake won some football games. So, and then what's his name from the Steelers? Michael Wallace. That was going to be the end-all, be-all, too. Guy didn't do nothing. Couldn't have no chemistry. He could run the shit out of a 9 route, but as long as you could throw it far enough for him to run underneath it, you were good. It's too bad our quarterback never had the time and never could find the connection. I mean, Jesus, did you ever see a quarterback-receiver connection work less than Tannehill to Mike Wallace ever? I never can. It's the worst ever. So, I'll get back to the article. Dolphins learned Tyreek Hill was the beneficiary of Andy Reid's play calling and the talent around him in KC. Hill has been one of the NFL's most dynamic playmakers in the last 6 seasons, but he's been playing for future Hall of Famer coach Andy Reid and has benefited from the presence of 2 possible future Hall of Famer quarterbacks in Patrick Mahomes and tight end Travis Kelce during his emergence as an NFL elite. Well, I'll have to push back right there because before Mahomes was the QB and before Kelce, I don't even know if Kelce was on the team 6 years ago, but definitely wasn't the Kelce we know today. He was doing it with, I want to say Anthony Fasano was there that year before we got him. I don't remember who their tight end was. Doesn't matter. I remember Tyreek Hill popping off the screen with Alex Smith as the quarterback. So I have to push back right away on that one. Dolphins fans better hope that it isn't a huge drop-off from Andy Reid's play calling to rookie head coach Mike McDaniel, Patrick Mahomes to Tua, and Kelce to Mike Gesicki. So this, in his top 10 right here, I would say that this is a reach, to say the least. Because, first of all, Travis Kelce is head and shoulders a better tight end than Mike Gesicki. I think we all can agree upon that. We like Mike Gesicki. He's, does what he does really good. But he's definitely not Travis Kelce tight end. Patrick Mahomes and Tua, different types of quarterbacks, to say the least. But, I don't know why. I wouldn't even have put this on the list, but I'm guessing, there's not 10 reasons to find why not. It's kind of hard to find 10 of anything. So I don't know. And McDaniel, I could see McDaniel being a drop-off to Andy Reid because, and that's no shot at McDaniel. We're talking about fucking Andy Reid here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're talking about Kelce to Gesicki. So, yes, you are talking, and Mahomes to Tua. Sorry, Tua fans, but Patrick Mahomes is fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I like Tua as much as anybody, but you can't sit here and look me in the eye and say you'd rather have Tua over Patrick Mahomes unless you're just a liar. If you want to lie to yourself because you love Tua all that much, that's your fucking prerogative. That's your prerogative. I mean, listen, I like Tua, and I hope he's going to be great. And I think in this system that they're going to build here in Miami is going to be better suited for everything. But I also think that pretty easily put is that Tyreek Hill's going to be used a much different way, a much more tricky way. I'm excited for McDaniel, and I'm excited for what Tua is going to be able to do in this system because I think with a quick passing and, throwing guys open and using what we have as a weaponry around here, A, zone blocking, okay, B, two of the fastest, most shiftiest wide receivers in the game today in Waddle and Hill. And I think what's something you guys are forgetting here is that, remember those passes that you would see? I don't know if Tua did any. I can't remember. Maybe you guys can remind me. But like, they come out and they fake it to the left, and then they turn around and then they throw it to the right. It's like this new thing that they're doing all the time. What up, Alex? What's going on, buddy? It's this new thing that you see them doing a lot. And out of this zone blocking scheme, if they go to the left and it's a fake to the left, and they turns around, but meanwhile you had the fullback and a tailback or a fullback and one of the guards come out to the right, and you're throwing on like an in slant from the outside at a 2 wide receiver set to Waddle that comes in, and now he's got 2 blockers out in front of him while everyone's going this way. Anyone that went out that's coming following Waddle, he's got now 2 blockers out for him. He gets to come on right up the middle. So I expect some real tricky plays just like that to come. We've seen some of them, but I haven't seen them out of the Dolphins in a long time. And I don't think we've had a coach able to design it, coach it, and show it on paper and on the play field or the practice field to bring it onto the play field. So, all right, let's see what the third thing is. Oh, man, this is the worst. Injuries decimate the Dolphins in 2022. Ooh. This is the silent killer of all Dolphin fans. Imagine playing large portions of this upcoming season without Miami's key players like Xavier Howard, pass rushers like Emmanuel Ogbah, Tyreek Hill, Gesicki, linebacker Jerome Baker, offensive tackle Teron Armstead. Now, I know everyone in there is thinking, oh, Gesicki, we could deal without him. And yes, in some ways you're right. But remember, the workload that Gesicki will get out of the slot and passing game will put more workload on the guys like Hill and Waddle. And that's where you could see where we might not think, oh, we're missing Gesicki. It really could burn out guys like Waddle and Hill later in the year where they could be well rested to make a real playoff push. That's why this is for the playoffs. And I know a lot of other people are hearing Jerome Baker. No, I'm sorry, guys, but Jerome Baker is an immensely important part of this team's. I like Jerome Baker a lot. I know there's a lot of things I wish he would do better, but that's only because, if you want to be real, we're nitpicking at the guy. He does a hell of a lot of things good and some things great. And he is a solid linebacker that a lot of teams would really love to have. So I don't like the disrespect Jerome gets. And losing any of these players could lead to instant struggles because the backups wouldn't be able to provide the same level of productivity, playmaking they bring, and that's the truth. That's part of the reason Miami should be careful with the training camp and practice workload of the top shelf players, which I think they have been, I think they have been. It's hard though, because you need your guys to run the sets to learn. Which is why I'm really trying to get to the practices, the joint practices that they're going to be having, What's going on in here, boys? Facts aren't trolling. What you talking about? You know what, California? I'm not saying that the new linebacker can't take snaps from Jerome, but if you think a rookie third rounder is going to come in and play to, the communication that Jerome does and the being able to recognize plays and, get guys in the right position, Jerome does a lot of dirty work, man. Jerome is asked to take very, very hard duties that if it was any other linebacker, you would be seeing them miss tackles way out of position, and that guy that he's covering via, tight end, running back, whomever, is housing the shit. You guys forget how bad our linebacker play was before Jerome was around here. I know you guys think now because of everything, but in reality, man, Jerome has been a constant good linebacker for us. No, Matthew. Tyndall is listed as an inside linebacker. So, and he will be a good inside linebacker. What's going on, Batman? That's right. And everybody make sure to check out Batman and Gio over at Miami Sports Fanatic. All their guys, doing all their good shit. Let's see the next thing on the list. McDaniel struggles to lead an NFL locker room. Now, I haven't gotten into this part yet, but I would say McDaniel hasn't. I don't know if he's proven that he's a good leader, but I will say, as far as gathering the hearts and minds of the locker room, he's done a pretty decent job already as far as getting people to get around him. And also, there's a big amount of people and ex-players all over the league that vouch for him in every way, that he's just a great coach. Now, where I will give a little bit of understanding to what he's saying, and I haven't read this part, and I'm going to read it to you now, but if McDaniel starts to lose the locker room, because I'll be honest, all that bubbly, hi, I love you, all that, team coach is great when you're winning and when spirits are high. When shit goes wrong and guys start thinking about themselves and money and wins and losses, things go sour. All that, good talk goes right out the window, and you need a guy who can keep guys in line, not, cracking a whip, but keep their eye on the ball. So it is something, and I've said it often, that I don't want to see, hard times for the Dolphins, but I want to see how Mike McDaniel reacts to, hard times. And if you go and watch the fish tank on the Dolphins deal with Seth and OJ on the fish tank, he spoke about that. He talked about how, the times that are tough and what he's going to do and how he looks for that opportunity to grow. So I really think Buddy will bounce back. He just seems level-headed enough and has enough, self-deprecation, which is playing right to my ordeal. I like to tear myself down. It's funny, it's what we do. It's funny to me. It's why I wear the purple jacket, guys, because it's a joke. It's supposed to chill, relax, But I can be like this. You can be chill, relaxed, and self-deprecating, but not when you losing and guys are costing them millions of dollars and shit, and their brand is going down. And you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna be happy about that. So we'll see. All right, let's see what it says. McDaniel struggles to lead an NFL locker room. There's a reason only one of 9 teams shopping for head coach this offseason interviewed McDaniel. Most organizations didn't feel the 39-year-old who served as the 49ers offensive coordinator for 1 season was ready to become a head coach. McDaniel is respected for his intellect, but he's got a quirky personality that could be beneficial or it can be a hindrance to his success when it comes to his relationship with players. The only way to tell is to see how he reacts to a losing streak. See, this is what I'm talking about, which in the NFL is virtually inevitable. When that happens, will McDaniel have the ability to problem solve and calm the troubled waters? Will his players buy into his approach when adversity hits? Now, I can't push back at that at all, man. I got to be honest, because I've been saying it. I'm pretty sure Omar been watching the show too, Color, because it looks like he's making a list out of everything we've done on the shows the past couple of months. And just being real, guys. I mean, listen, I'm not like, oh, McDaniel's bad coach. He gonna learn this bad. Nah, fuck that. I want McDaniel to be the best coach. I want him to win Coach of the Year. How about that? It'd be awesome. Tell you what, he gets us to win the AFC East. He damn well might win Coach of the Year. I mean, think about it. We win 12 games and get the AFC East and get into the playoffs with a friggin', a home game He's coach of the year in everybody's hearts and minds in Miami. And I said this the other day on my 5 reasons for whatever, that if McDaniel takes this team to the postseason, wins the AFC East, and we're in there with a home game playing in our stadium, winning a game at home, we will collectively figure out a way to forge our own crown for Mike McDaniel. I'll forge it. We'll have TFTG and the Dolphins. We'll just forge it and make it. And we'll get it to him somehow. All right. Dolphins' new offense experiences growing pains. Adjusting to a change is often difficult, so expecting the Dolphins' offense to click on all cylinders early in the season while installing an entirely new offense is unrealistic because of all the variables. Coaching staff typically needs time to learn the strengths and weaknesses of their players. But what happens if the Miami offense half of the season, Miami's offensive half of the season to find their way? Geez, he fucking got a typo here. It takes more than half the season to find their identity in this play action based offense, or even longer to find its groove. That could lead to some early struggles that might apply unwelcome pressure in areas of the team. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that's why I'm hoping for a strong running game. You know, out of Mike McDaniel a lot, early and often, and still, and almost every time we see him in any long interview or any interview at all, he stresses the importance of the offensive line play in this running scheme and how it works into setting everything up on this entire endeavor of what he's brought here. It's every one of these coaches, from Bevel to Smith to Applebaum to even Welker, who's a wide receiver who, as we all know, little ass Welker blocked well. And the importance of everyone doing the blocking right, getting to their keys and holding up blocking properly is most important in this scheme. So it's really going to come down to that being something they need to make certain of early. And I think the first key of them understanding the importance is them taking Dieter off the damn field. And I'm sorry, but I don't want to say it's confirmed sources, but it's pretty damn confirmed that when the media was there watching guys snap balls, it was Dieter that was putting them all over the friggin' place. And that ain't good. And I think they knew that, and so did we. So if they tried to, continue on with Dieter, who has lost his starting job every year in the NFL, he seems to come into the year with a job, and before long, he's no longer the left guard. He's no longer the center. He's no longer the whatever. He always loses his job, and no ill will against Dieter. He's a decent NFL six. He's going to be the best sixth man around because he can play from one end of the line to the other. But having him muff snaps is going to kill us. We can't ill afford that. And him not being able to call out the mic or get the proper play call and get it down to the left and to the right and make sure everyone knows what's going on. It's too important right now in this offensive scheme, because in every play, he's in a play call, everyone's going to the left. Well, it might be that, hey, we're all going to the left, but the center's got to pull and go to the right. And we can't have a mixture coming up because that's key to this running. And they have to get the running game going early and often. We have to, because that's going to then set everything up later down the line for when everything starts clicking. It's going to help our quarterback. Let's be real. A healthy running game is going to help our quarterback, and that's what I want. I want to give the guy its real due to have a nice running game to start the season off with. And we can lean on our defense. You guys don't forget, we're all excited about our offense. We're all excited about what Tua's going to be this year. But we've leaned on our defense for the last 2 years, and it's equated to a lot of wins. So we can still lean on them early with a healthy running game and try to limit mistakes from our offense and, asking Tua to do too much early. Later in the season, after 5 or 6 weeks, then we can start opening it up. The playbook, there's film out there. They're watching the run game. Well, now that play action, that RPO is really starting to light them up because now they're busy, taking the bait on the run for that play action for Tua to actually take a deep shot and have time to take it. So, all right, let's move on to the next thing. The next thing on the list is Josh Boyer can't get Miami's blitzing defense to work properly. Ooh. So before I read this, I think we all know that if Josh Boyer fails early and often, they'll just have Madison come up there and just take over the job. And, I would venture to say that Sam Madison probably was offered a DC job or potentially offered a DC job for other teams. I don't know it for a fact, but I would say that a team like, Houston might want him as a defensive coordinator. Maybe Jacksonville. Just saying. But I think he knows what I know is that he wants to be home, and he could probably be the DC here. Only the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 40.8% had a higher blitz percentage than the Dolphins last year at 39.6%. And it led to a league-leading 77 quarterback knockdowns and 48 sacks, which tied Miami for 5th place in 2022. The year before that, the Dolphins ranked second in blitzing percentage with 40.8, 17 knockdowns, 54, and 10 sacks, 41st. It will be interesting to see, or 10th in sacks, 41, 17th in knockdowns, 54. It'll be interesting to see which level of efficiency Boyer's unit brings in his third year with his leadership, which will be the first without former head coach Brian Flores, who is respected league-wide for his innovation of the Aniba Blitz. Yeah, this will be a big deal for Boyer. I'll tell you what. With adding guys like Melvin Ingram, getting all these young guys to have their second year. And who's to say that, Phillips and Holland don't take a step forward, which I think they both will. There's a world where this team is top 5 and Sam Madison is our DC next year anyhow, because Boyer's getting a chance at a head coaching job. That's a potential. Boyer is, he could really super benefit right now from all the things that Flores left behind, as well as, us re-signing Agba and getting Melvin Ingram on this team. Be pretty awesome. I'm excited to see it. But Boyer could shit the bed. And if he does, it could cost this season. If this defense regresses because of Boyer's play calling, está no bueno. And honestly, not going to be leaning on that defense very much if it regresses. And also, I don't want McDaniel with an overwhelmingly filled plate taking on worrying about our quarterback and getting him going at his best. Also, getting this offensive line, dealing with the coaching staff, calling plays. He's got his hands full on the offense. I don't really think he's in a position to help the defense so much. But again, Sam Madison and Patrick Surtain, not that Patrick Surtain, but Sam Madison is in the wings, and Patrick Surtain's ready to take Sam Madison's position, and we all know it. The next thing on the list Miami's running game remains inconsistent. Now, this, I think, is the biggest killer of all between this and the O line. The Dolphins' run game was so unreliable last season. The team had to lean on two players, Duke Johnson and Philip Lindsay, claimed off of waiver wire late last season to make it through the second half of the year. And still, the Dolphins ranked 30th in rushing with 92.2 yards per game and 31st in yards per carry with 3.55 a yard per carry. If McDaniel doesn't get this unit into the top half of the league's rushing statistics, which is exactly what I said, 15 or higher in 2022, it's a bad sign of what's to come, because building an offensive scheme that needs an effective running game is supposed to be what this head coach's specialty. Yeah, that ain't no bullshit there. That ain't no BS. The last reason they have on here, Miami's linebackers get exposed for their shortcomings. Baker, Phillips, Landon Roberts, Duke Riley, Andrew Van Ginkel collectively make up a solid linebacker unit because of their unique strengths, complements Miami's hybrid defense, which is fueled by its versatility. But there isn't one player in the linebacking unit who can do everything at an above average level. And then because of this, a good offensive coordinator might be able to attack their individual weaknesses, like running at Baker or throwing at Roberts or forcing Phillips to drop back into coverage. So, I don't know. I think we all know that still Baker, or not Baker, our linebacking unit, because of their weaknesses, is still the biggest problem on our defense. I think it's pretty safe to say. It's I don't know. I mean, hopefully because of our secondary and us having two lockdown corners and two of the best young safeties around, that we're playing with a lot of DBs rotating around, keeping our linebackers fresh. And I know, King, I don't want them to drop into coverage at all either, bro. But sometimes defending might have to just to cover a zone. And really, out of this defense, that's what we do best. That Aniba defense is known for showing everybody at the line, and you don't know who's dropping back. And sometimes it's gonna be Phillips's number called, and sometimes, like as you guys can remember, when I think it was Jared Goff that threw a dart right into what's our defense? Oh my God, Christian Wilkins' hands. Just threw it right at him because he dropped back into coverage. And yeah, Matthew, because of his speed and versatility as a young man, I think they still will keep him at outside linebacker. Plus, also, come time to pay, they're way cheaper outside linebackers versus pass rushers or defensive ends. There's not wrong. I'd much rather just see Phillips rushing the passer and worrying about that edge, but you can't typecast him because then every time they know he's there, they know that he's rushing the passer. So, and really that's what this defense is about. It's about you looking at Phillips and going, yeah, okay, he's rushing the passer, when actually he's not. He's not. He's going to drop back and play down the edge of the line for the run. You're showing pass, but you're actually going to run, but he's going to be there to catch you. Plus, to me, Phillips is so fast and has that ability to stretch and lay out and shoelace mofos that kind of use him as like you own this side of the line, whether it's the right side or the left side, whichever side it gives up on, and you're essentially keeping the quarterback in and playing in the run and stuff. So I don't know. But we'll really have to see. Out of all the things that concern me on the top 10 list that Omar has made, number one on the defense is the linebacking unit. I do like the young guy we brought in, Channing Tindall. I think there's a world in which he gets good snaps and, makes his presence felt. But I think we can all agree, that's why we drafted a linebacker in the 3rd round. That's why we took Channing Tindall, because we know that we have to worry about our linebackers.
Left side. Strong side.
Yeah, we're going to have to worry about the strong side. We're going to have to worry about the weak side. We're going to have to worry about these linebackers playing up to par. We need these guys to definitely do their job, because our secondary is good, and our D-line is top-notch. Our pass rushing ability, I think, is going to take the next step. I really think Ogba is going to be on the tip of people's tongues in the Pro Bowl this year, because I think he's going to earn every bit of that contract. I think you guys know how I feel. I think Phillips is going to be wearing a gold jacket. He looks bigger now.
Ourselves. I am Hans.
I'm Franz.
And we want to pump you up.
Yeah, he's put on big stacks. He looks bigger, stronger, and he actually lost a couple pounds. He's just got leaner body weight. He's been working on it all off season. He'll probably be back to the weight he was, but running lighter and faster. And he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. There's no doubt about it. He's going to be just straight jacking fools. And I think by year's end, everyone's going to know who Phillips is around the league. They're going to be like, oh, dude, this guy's for real. And on those primetime games, I'm looking for him to show up big and just put the hurting on fools. So now that we've gone through the 10 things that are on, Omar's list, I already said my linebacking is on the defense. For my offensive side, I know a lot of people would think, oh, it's quarterback plays, stuff like that. Honestly, I'm not as worried about the quarterback play as I am about the offensive line. The offensive line has been, listen, you can make up for the deficiencies for run game, for quarterback play, because if you give your quarterback enough time, if you're down on weapons at wide receiver and you got 3rd string, 4th string guys in there, taking heavy snaps because, guys are nicked up or tired or whatever, if the offensive line is doing its job, you don't notice that as much. It's gotta be, the number one thing on my deal. We really need to get the offensive line taken care of. We got to get this running game going. And, Dolphins fans, can you imagine a running game where we're running the ball with purpose, we're forcing it down people's throat, and late in the game in the 4th quarter, by mid-season, we're like, oh, we're up 10 points. There's 4 minutes left, and we just got the ball. We are going to run the ball and grind out this clock. They're going to have to burn up all their timeouts. And we're going to be able to get at least in field goal range to put 3 more points on the board and seal this game. There ain't going to be no way that they're going to have enough time to score more than once minimally, and then they're going to have to throw on our defense. Now they're playing right into the plan we had originally tried to put. Now, this is Chris Greer's brainchild. This is Chris Greer's baby. He wanted a defense that we have, and he wanted this offense back when he started this, but McDaniel wasn't let go by San Francisco. So now we can get it underway. All right. What about you guys? What is your number one concern on defense? Number one concern on offense? Let me know in the chat. Your number one concern on defense, number one concern on offense. Mine is the linebacking unit and the offensive line play. What about you guys? Is it the running play? Is it? Listen, Scott, you ain't bullshit. If he didn't have concussion, he would be a top 5 pick. He really would have. And in fact, that because he didn't, because he had those concussion concerns, he fell right in our lap. And I think those are gone. Matthew, yeah, trenches and the line or the linebackers. I'm right there with you. Mm-hmm. Injuries on defense and Tua on offense. I feel that. I mean, listen, I'm safely going to say that Shake Money, what you got? O-line in the middle linebacker. All right. O-line mainly from fins up. Yeah. I think Tua is a quarterback you can win with. I don't think he's the type of quarterback that has the arm strength that's going to elevate the passing game. I think he can elevate people in other ways, but I don't think he's elevating in the pass game to an elite level. Now, that may change as time goes on when he starts learning more defenses, learning against more defensive play calling and assignments, learning the people that he has with, plus trusting his offensive line, trusting his coaching, feeling a little bit more free out there. Those things might show up on paper. But up to this point, I've seen nothing that can say either way. So there's really not much that you can argue against. He really, California, Tua and linebackers, run game, Aqua, John, O-line in the trenches, King Mill, O-line, LBs, and QB. Yeah, I got you guys. I think we're all right around there. It's hard to be able to, Tua needs to be more calm in the pocket. What's up, Ken Sean? What's going on? Yeah, I don't know, guys. I want it to work out with Tua and in a big way. And then we have these high draft, or we have 2 first-round draft picks. Hopefully ours isn't high. Hopefully San Francisco falls on their face and we get a top 5 pick. That would be awesome. But hopefully we have 2 first-round draft picks, and we can, keep this quarterback and feel like he's a franchise guy and build things around him. Hopefully those 2 picks go to corner and running back. I would love that. Give me a new corner around here and a running back in the first round. I feel good. And yeah, Matthew, I think we can safely say that he's a decent game manager with potentially high upside. So that's not asking much, I don't know if he's going to be able to elevate people. Can he? Yes. And we will see. All right, guys, we're coming up to the end of the first hour of the show. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Everybody, please hit the like button. Helps the algorithm. Also, if you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, come over to YouTube. Subscribe to the channel on here on YouTube and become part of the family and check out all the great stuff. Get involved in the community. Make sure you guys are checking out all the great content we got here. Tonk 7 TMI Tuesdays, live around 9 with Tonk on there and color commentary, co-hosting with him. You guys can catch Color solo on the panel show on Thursdays around 10 o'clock on Thursdays. On Saturday nights, you got Late Night Exhale with Ali coming at you. Color and Ali went till Sunday. Every other night of the week, you can catch me, El Capitan, TFTG family style. Written right there, just in case you guys forget. all of this stuff. Cash App and Venmo help support the channel. Also, you guys can find the link for Fanatics in the description below with the Cash App and Venmo to support the channel. We really appreciate it. If you guys were to purchase any gear, go to Fanatics or purchase some of our gear. Check out the TFTG hats, come in different colors, beanies, get yourself a flag, represent the family. Super Chat is live and active. We encourage you guys to support the show. It always helps us out. It helps keep the lights on, keeps the content, allows us to grow the network, put more into it, and, find people and, grow the subscribers and yada, yada, yada. As you guys know, man, if you ain't growing, you're dying, and we trying to grow around here. So, all right. Now that we've gone through the 10 reasons why they could falter. What's up, Concrete? Let's go through the 10 reasons why the Dolphins should be playoff bound in 2022. We will start. I'll remind you guys, Sun Sentinel article written by Omar Kelly. Make sure you guys are supporting our local papers. Wow. Miami Dolphins haven't qualified for the playoffs twice in this decade. Longest drought in the NFL. Second longest drought in the NFL to produce a playoff win. The only team that has a longer playoff drought in that, which has been 21 years for us, is a third-year drought for the Detroit Lions, which, God, dude, the fact that we are the Miami Dolphins, a team that reached the pinnacle of perfect, the only team in our name is mentioned with the Lions for how bad we have been in getting to the playoffs. It is sad. Stressful. This could be the year the forever rebuilding, reloading, retooling Dolphins turn the tide on a franchise's 2-decade-long fertility, because Miami's roster is stacked with talent, some depth, and a handful of playmakers who can lead a new coaching staff, one of the propagated from the hottest coaching trees in the NFL. There are 10 things that could help the Dolphins get to the playoffs in 2022. So, the first thing on this list, Coach Mike McDaniel and his staff bring balance to the offense. The Dolphins, who averaged a dismal 92.2 rushing yards per game and a 3.5 yard per attempt, haven't had an effective rushing attack since 2016 season, which was the last time the Dolphins qualified for the postseason. Running the ball effectively comes down to three things: a forceful offensive line, which Miami hopes they have achieved by signing Pro Bowl pickup Terron Armstead and veteran starter Connor Williams; a commitment to calling run plays; and a talented stable of running backs, which the Dolphins seemingly have after adding Chase Edmonds, Raheem Moser, and Sony Michel. So, again, guys, the first thing he puts on the list is something that I talked about, is that we need to get this running game, and we need to get it going fast, and we need to hopefully see the effectiveness of the offensive blocking and this running game come week 1. Now, hot topic issue and been talked about a little bit is how Gaskins won't have a job around here this year. I don't know if I'd count Gaskin out. He's a hard worker, and to be quite honest, a zone blocking scheme out of the running and passing game is perfect for a back like Gaskin. And I know for a fact, 1,000,000%, Gaskin is going to know the playbook early. He's also going to run the plays effective and fast without hesitation. and he's good. He has value. He's going to be a hard person to overtake in the depth chart. You know, he's going to be a very hard guy to overtake for guys like Sony Michel, Zaquandre White, and anyone else who thinks that they're going to stroll in here and take the guy who was starting running back's job for the last few years since he's been around in Gasket. Now, do I think he'll be the running back first option? Probably not. Chase Edmonds got the big money to take that job. He should be the guy. Also, I don't know if Raheem Mostert's going to be healthy come week one. By all accounts, and from what I'm hearing, he's saying that he is. You can check the episode I did the other day where the word coming out is that Raheem Mostert's going to be ready week one. And I think Raheem Mostert is feeling the pressure of guys like Zaquandre White, guys like Myles Gaskin, guys like Sylvan Ahmed, in that he's not feeling so secure in the job that he got signed for that he might not be on this team if he ain't healthy in time. So there's a something to be said. Don't count Gaskin out yet, guys. Next thing on this list of why we'll get into the postseason. Miami's young and troublesome offensive line gets fixed. Now, I'm going to read this in a second, but if this happens, it will be the reason we get into the postseason. If we have an effective offensive line and they're in the top 12 of offensive lines in most major categories, I mean, it'll be like a load off for Dolphins fans. It really will. It'll be huge, guys. It'll be huge. I don't know how else to say it other than, damn. Let's read it. The Dolphins have poured a ton of resources via free agency, draft picks, and trades into building an offensive line in the past 4 off seasons. The hope is that last year's issues were a result of a lackluster coaching and not poor talent evaluation. Miami needs Armstead, the 3-time Pro Bowl selection, to be a pillar of granite at the left tackle, and for Liam Eichenberg, Robert Hunt, Austin Jackson, Solomon Kinley, Michael Dieter, Greg Little to clean up some of their techniques and get in better shape. We also know, and this isn't in there, that it's going to be for certain 3 people are starting on this offensive line, and that's Teron Armstead, Connor Williams, and Robert Hunt. All 3 of those guys have a job. Now, from the list that they just gave us of Liam Eichenberg, Austin Jackson, Solomon Kinley, Michael Dieter, Greg Little, we also have guys like Larnell Coleman. We have Robert Jones, and we also have new undrafted guys in what's his name? Oh my goodness, I'm blanking out. Andres Blaze and not Austin Reeder. I can't remember his name. Those guys are long shots to make the team. But we didn't select Austin Jackson in the first round, Liam Eichenberg in the second. We didn't have these guys, and don't forget, Greg Little was a second-round pick too. Robert Jones played pretty decent at right tackle. We got to get it figured out for the other 3 positions at left guard, right tackle, and probably. And here's the lineup as of right now, and it's been reported through interviews from the Dolphins players, but not by reporters because they're not allowed to talk about it, but it's been pretty much mapped out. And right now in pen, we have Armstead at left tackle, and in pencil, we have Liam Eichenberg at left guard. We also have Connor Williams as the center. We have Robert Hunt as the right guard. And then in pencil at right tackle is Austin Jackson. Now, is that where they'll stay? I don't know. But Austin Jackson's player profile and his athleticism works perfect in this system. Can he get it figured out in time to be effective as a right tackle and not have the same woes he had at left tackle, getting beat on the edge like he did? I hope so, because remember, everybody, that's to his blind side on the right side. If Austin Jackson made a mistake on the left, Tua seen it coming. I mean, getting him tackled, yeah, but at least he could see it coming. He blows and whiffs one like old Davis was doing, Jesse Davis was doing last year. We could see an injured Tua, and that's not going to be good. But there's a lot of resources in here, and I would say through this blocking scheme, they're going to get it figured out. Next thing on this list, Miami's defensive line will be forced again. Will be a force again this season. The Dolphins have been one of the most successful teams at applying pressure in the past 2 seasons, and it's not just the zero blitz technique that is dialing up and heat applying to opposing quarterbacks. Emmanuel Ogbah, Christian Wilkins, Zach Sealer are all blooming as young starters, and Jalen Phillips, who set a franchise for rookie sacks as a rookie, has the talent and work ethic to become a force in year 2. That is going to be nice. So I also think not just Jalen Phillips is going to take it, they're going to look really different in year 2, playing faster, not being in his head, not feeling the pressure of, and he talked about this in his interview about, needing to have psychological help, feeling like he was letting people down. I think he's a lot more comfortable, and I think he feels less pressure and has more support all the way around. And I think he's going to play fast because, geez, dude, just on athletic ability alone, the guy is just an animal. I think he's going to take a next step, but I also think Ogbah going to really pop off the ceiling this year. I think he's going to be looking at sacks. He's going to have games that he's going to have sacks that are going to wreck it. And remember, this is a huge year for Christian Wilkins. If he wants to get that big time contract, this is the year to do it. He's got to show up on film. He's got to say, hey, I'm worth $100 million, because that's what they're going to. Man, guys, I don't know. Hopefully he gives us a hometown discount, something like Ogbah gave us, because I don't want to have to give Christian Wilkins $100+ million. But he's the exact kind of player that Chris Grier wants this team to be like makeup. If we had a whole team of Christian Wilkinses, we would be pretty good right now as far as everything goes, as far as, on and off the field, Alrighty. Next thing on the list of why the Dolphins will make postseason. Josh Boyer proves it wasn't Brian Flores pulling the strings on defense. Ooh la la. Wouldn't that be crazy? Now, there is... So I'll answer this real quick. That Dolphins realtor asks, Gaskin Rowe traded before season? I don't think so. Maybe Gaskin, but I don't know if there's a lot of trade market. If there's probably plenty of people that would trade for Rowe, but I don't think they want to let Rowe go. For the productivity that we get from him and the cap hit that he accounts for, which I think is $6.8 million, something like that, Rowe is worth keeping around here, because Rowe can also play not just safety. He can play a little nickel. He can play, in a pinch, you could use him on the boundary. I wouldn't against certain people, but they could probably, if Rowe is playing as a boundary corner in a pinch, You could bracket it with a safety over top to help Rowe out. It would typecast and leave holes open in the middle, but that's because you're in a pinch. You know what I'm saying? Rowe has, in years past, he was damn good at shutting down tight ends. Now, last year, I didn't see that from Rowe, but I don't know. Maybe he was injured. Yeah, CT. Thanks for the Father's Day thing. And shout out to everybody on Father's Day yesterday. And thanks everybody who hit me up on Father's Day. And shout out to all my boys who hit me up. Everybody, I appreciate it. El Capitan was down and out yesterday. I don't know what happened. I slept. I don't know. Got either was shaking something out or something. And yeah, Matthew Rowe's a bit of a thumper. He wasn't the Rowe we've seen the first 2 years from him, but that doesn't mean that Rowe is gone. It could mean maybe he was injured all year last year. I don't know. Maybe he was playing nicked up. Who knows? But kind of like Baker in a way, we're really going to want that cat around. You know what I'm saying? We really want to keep a guy like Rowe around in the building because in a pinch, he could play a lot of different positions. And, you gotta have depth if you want to be good. Josh Boyer proves it wasn't Brian Flores pulling the strings on the defense. Now, I think this is going to prove it's going to look like it, but it's not going to prove that Josh Boyer was the one really pulling the strings. And I just want to be real, guys, because even if Josh Boyer was calling all the plays last year, it still is a Brian Flores made defense and designed in plays and whatever you want to say. Just because Josh Boyer makes this defense as successful or more doesn't mean that it was Boyer the whole time and not Flores. And I would venture to bet, and I will, that the Dolphins will look just as good, if not better, than last year. But it has nothing to do with Boyer over Flores in any way, shape, and form. I think it would suck because Boyer could falter, in which case I would say it's because Flores is gone. But if the defense takes a step forward, I don't know if I could say that's because of Boyer. You understand what I'm saying? Because the defense could take a step forward because the offense took a step forward. The defense could take a step forward because the guys are longer in the system. We're not interchanging important pieces like we did last year. You guys got to remember Van Noy and Bobby McCain, two key players from the year before, gone, inserted with young guys and rookies trying to fill that role or first timers. It's just, let's be real. So, but there are claims that Boyer, Miami's defensive coordinator, had his game plan and play calling responsibilities taken away from him before Miami's defense eventually tightened up the screws after its 1-7 start last year. Whether that's fact or fiction, we'll never know for sure. But how the Dolphins start 2022, their third season in this identical scheme under Boyer's leadership, will be a huge indicator. It will likely show us whether Flores, the team's former head coach, was really pulling the strings when the defense got its act together late last season. So what Omar Kelly is referring to in there is the first half of the season, we saw a defense that didn't do a lot of the things that they did the year before. And they were getting torched at times, and they weren't running that zero blitz. It was more of like a base, they weren't running that all-out zero blitz. But I don't know if the change happened because of Boyer, because of Flo, what, I don't know. But if Boyer comes out running what worked last year, again, I'm not going to say, that means every play that worked last year was Boyer and everyone that didn't was Flores. Now, I know there'll be a lot of people that'll like to say that. And that's okay. You could say it because a lot of people want to throw shade at Flores. And good, fuck him. He ain't here no more. Piss off. But don't rewrite history, folks. Okay? Let's not try to rewrite history. Let's just be honest with ourselves and just be happy that shit's going good and we don't have to look back and tear down shit that was doing bad. All right. The next reason the Dolphins will win and get into the postseason: Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Mike Gesicki become one of the NFL's most dangerous trios. Ooh, that sounds nice. I like that. Now, this is something that I hope, anyhow, and we're really going to be maybe not so much Gesicki, but this offense and the way it moves will be all about speed.
I feel the need for speed.
That's why the Dolphins need to ensure the offensive puts this trio into position to touch the ball at least 5 times a game each, and uses the run game to force teams to make tough decisions about who to double and how many defenders to put in the box. The hope is that the attention Hill draws will open up the field for everyone else. And you know what? They're all putting this attention on Hill. That leaves people isolated. Or if the safety is a single high safety, but he's creeping down over to one end because all game long they've been doubling Hill, and he's sick of watching Waddle hit that fucking little curl, that little slant, or that little dig route, or whatever on the opposite end. So the safety cheats out over just a little bit out of position. And Mike McDaniel notices it, and Tua notices it, and they call the audible at the thing and at the line and have Gesicki run up a seam route where the safety should have been and is no longer. That's where I want it to be. All righty. All right, hold on, CT. Oh, yeah, guys. Family member of the fam, Todd Labruto, right there. GoFundMe. Help Todd out. Todd's going through some rough stuff. I actually talked to Todd today. Rough times for us all. If you guys can help Todd, man, shout out to Todd. We love you, buddy. Alrighty, let's get on to the next thing on here. Why the Dolphins will do it and get to the postseason. Tua Tagovailoa becomes the NFL's most accurate quarterback in 2022. Now, a lot of people say that Tua is the most accurate quarterback ever, which isn't true. Sorry, guys. I know there's a statistic running around that Tua is the most accurate quarterback ever. Sorry, you're fucking wrong. All right. Now, is Tua a damn accurate quarterback? Hell yeah, I'll give it to him. He's pretty damn accurate. Probably one of the best accurate quarterbacks. But to say he's the most accurate quarterback ever up to this point, no. He proves that he's one of the most accurate or the most accurate quarterback next year, and that's only going to help us. And that's good. And we need some of that, especially in this offense. Especially it fits Tua's skill set too, the timing, the rhythm, the run game, the play action, which we're going to get into later from Hassam. It's definitely his strength. And now that his strength seems to be at its best, it's definitely going to be a factor. Tagovailoa held the crown for a couple of weeks last season before his late season struggles led to a 4th place finish in 2022. His 67.8% completion rate was the second best in franchise history, just shy of the team's record of 68.5 set by Ryan Fitzpatrick in 2020. Holy fuck. Did you guys know that? That Ryan Fitzpatrick holds the Dolphins' most accurate quarterback record at 68.5. Out of all the quarterbacks we've had around here, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick that holds our franchise record. I would have thought for sure Pennington would have had it. You know what I'm saying? I would have thought for certain that Pennington would have had it. If I'd have asked y'all that question, would y'all have thought Fitzpatrick? No way. I would have never thought that. If the especially because in 2020 we didn't have the best team. That's nuts. Then again, we won 10 games. If the offensive line improves, the run game becomes more effective, and Miami Dolphins top shelf receivers have healthy season, Tagovailoa should be among the NFL's most accurate passers because of his ability to hit players in stride and his upper echelon pocket presence. And that ain't no bullshit. One thing Tua does have that I was told that I would get from him, and I have seen from him, is that he has damn good pocket presence. Now, measured to what we've had around here in Tannehill, who, to me, I don't know if he has any, peripheral vision. So, I can see my hand looking at you right there. I can see it, out of my peripheral. Tannehill, his peripheral starts, right there. You know what I'm saying? You got to see it. Oh, wait, there it is. Damn, bro. Gets Tua's peripheral starts, over here. He's got pretty damn, pocket presence, which can't be taught. It's something that's learned. And, that ain't no bullshit. All right. So, the next thing on the list, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So here's the last, the next thing. Javon Holland, Brandon Jones, and Eric Rowe helped Miami's secondary to become one of the NFL's stingiest. Ooh, I love that. Now, also, guys, you got to remember, too, that if everything goes according to plan, if this offense takes the step, if everything starts, the run game, really, guys, this run game moves off and play action becomes a thing. Because that's really where Tua held, when the run game actually had some decent runs, Tua could use the play action in that RPO to start dicing them up and catching people in the zone, in the soft spots of the zone, and hitting them on stride, and really started putting pressure from the speed of things. But if we can get out in front and grind out through the running game and play into the defense that's already intact, into the passing game, and our young secondary in our safeties unit takes another step, we could be snatching the football out to the air all the time. And Pro Bowl Javon Holland, I don't know. How badass would that be, though? The Dolphins' secondary have been the strength of the team for the past few years. In addition of Javon Holland and the development of Brandon Jones, a 2020 third-round pick who has started 17 games in the past 2 seasons, has given the safety play a painful bite. If Holland, who had recorded 69 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and forced 2 fumbles while recovering 3, was that good as a rookie last season, imagine how good he'll be when the run game starts slowing down things for him. Yeah, because those guys had to. The defense was playing bail us out all the time. Imagine if the defense isn't worried about bailing us out. They're worried about closing bitches out. Worried about cutting mofos' throats. And we know that, and we've seen it happen to us before, where teams go, that's it, Xavier Howard's over there. We're not going to go at that. Okay, Byron Jones is having himself a game. Let's go ahead and expose the slot or try to work things out. If these young safeties and Holland, more importantly into this argument, takes a big step forward, I mean, dude, we can have the best secondary in the division, in the NFL. Jones has shown a knack for making big plays, but he needs to be more reliable in coverage. Rowe needs to get back to locking down tight ends like he did in 2021. And I think he can. I don't know exactly where Rowe's, again, problems and shortcomings came from. I would wonder if he was playing just a little nicked up. Who knows? But I'm super excited for the future of this franchise with young studs like Brandon Jones, who we all know is a down at the line blitzing safety and is really freaking good at it. I don't know how many sacks he had last year, but it seemed like late in the year he was really starting to put it together. And I mean, as a tandem, you can't ask for any better. I do wonder about that guy that's also from Oregon, McKinney the third. They called him the General. He was best friends with Javon Holland, UDFA pickup. I really, really wonder if he can find himself, in rotation and on this team if he clears waivers and stuff like that. What's up, Todd? What's going on, buddy? Alrighty. Now, this next one, I don't want to say it's a certainty, but I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is and bet on it. And that's Miami's special teams unit will rebound from last year's struggles. Now, honestly, when we let go of Matt Hawk, I wasn't happy about it. I didn't have this show to express my displeasure. But I was pretty upset because Matt Hawk was damn good. And our special teams unit was running at a high clip. And I think the Dolphins learned what we all learned is how important you, meaning your kicker, and the guy who holds the ball for him, the punter, how important that relationship is in that step. Because all of us know that Jason Sanders is a damn good kicker, Pro Bowl kicker, can kick the shit out of the ball. Money Sanders, we were calling him. Last year did not look like him. And I can't think of any reason other than Pilardi, who is gone. Now Morstead, who is a grizzled veteran, who had, I think he had the second longest average in the league last year. I really, really feel like he understands as a veteran how important it is to get in with his long snapper and Blake Ferguson, and his kicker, and them be a unit, a cohesive unit, and how important the third phases is to this team. And it's amazing to think that when we think about offense, defense, and special teams, the most important parts of the special teams are the kickers and the long snapper. And those three guys are their own, ordeal. And they are the third unit of the team. And so that's very, very important. So what's happening, everybody? Bleezy, Bo, what's going on? Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. What's good, my dog? What up? So, every aspect of Miami's special teams performance was lacking in 2021. That ain't no bullshit. It didn't meet to the team's standards. Jason Sanders missed a career-high 8 field goals and 1 extra point last season. That is not Jason Sanders. And it wasn't like, I can't remember where we're asking him to hit 60-plus yard bombs to win a game. I can remember him missing kicks I know he's got the leg for, and then some. Thomas Morstead, a 14-year veteran, should outshine Michael Pilardi. Look, I called him Matt Pilardi. I thought it was Matt Pilardi. It says Michael Pilardi. Guys, is it Michael Pilardi or Matt Pilardi that played for us last year? I thought it was Michael Pilardi. I thought it was Matt Pilardi. It's saying Michael Pilardi in here. I don't know. Color, if you're in the private chat in the back, can you let me know? I don't know. The punter he replaced Michael Pilardi, it says. I thought it was Matt Pilardi. And the hope is that at Miami's return game and coverage units will be more consistent a season after the team's 2021 struggles. It is Michael Pilardi, Adam? Really? Huh. I guess it don't really matter because he's gone. He's out here now. So get out of here. We don't need you no more. I thought it was Matthew Pilardi. That's how much little.
It's over, Johnny. It's over!
Yeah, it's over. He's out of this mug. All right, so let's get to the second to last thing on the reason why, Omar Kelly's reason from the Sun Sentinel on why the Dolphins will make it to the postseason. Xavier Howard will lead the NFL in interceptions again. Now this, I don't know because offensive quarterbacks, everybody knows who Xavier Howard is. There's not a lot of, pushback from anyone in the NFL when you mention Xavier Howard on every graphic I've seen. Top 5, top 10 corners, best coverage corners, best corners projections, whatever. Xavier's either 3, 2. They never put him number 1, but he's either 2 or 3 in the rankings on all the cornerback listings. And he's such a savvy vet that if you think, hey, you know what? I'm not going to throw to Xavier Howard. I don't want to get picked from him. He'll bait you. He will bait you. And I've seen him do it. He will and then break on the ball knowing that you're going to pass over there. He's very, very tricky. He's very smart, and he studies his opponents very, very well. So, yes, Bleezy, savvy. He's savvy. That's what we know about him. And at the end of every year, he's pretty much telling everybody to
Shut up, bitch! Oh my God!
He's been ever since his injury woes and us giving him money and basically going, look, we drafted Noah Igbenogany. We're worried about your injuries. You might not make blah, 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 blah. He's done whatever he's done in his own personal off time and figured his health out, and he's been great. Howard, a 3-time Pro Bowl selection, has led the NFL in interceptions, 27 interceptions, since he entered the league in 2006. Now, think about what I just said. Since Xavier Howard has become an NFL starter and was drafted in the second round out of, I know he's in the second round from, I'm blanking here, boys. Baylor, excuse me. He's led the NFL. And that trend hopefully continues in 2022. Last year, he recorded 7 takeaways, which included 3 in the fourth quarter. And we also remember that first takeaway that sealed the win for the Dolphins in week 1 against the Patriots, which that is worth the price of admission. And they all affected the outcome of the game favorably for the Dolphins. The Dolphins have been a top 8 secondary in the past 2 years, and Miami needs Howard to lock down opposition's best wide receivers to maintain the standings. Now, to me, he's someone we can count on. Xavier Howard has been someone we can count on. And I think as far as the injury concerns go, I think we don't have to, I don't know. We always got to worry about guys getting injured, but he's proven to everyone that he can maintain his body. He knows his body and that he's effective as all get up. So I mean, listen, he's helped solidify this secondary into being the best. He's worth every dime he's deserved. We've restructured the contract, making him, I think he's the 3rd highest paid corner in the league with the most guaranteed percentage of money, I want to say, which is odd to say. But for his age, for what he's done, he wanted to work his contract out, and Chris Greer and the back office made good on their promise to him and Dogba for that matter. And that sends a good message to guys like Christian Wilkins, to guys like, Mike Gesicki. If they do what they're supposed to do this year, Chris Greer said, we're going to take care of you. I think they can get it figured out. And also, it doesn't hurt that we're in a no-tax state. It doesn't hurt that you get to live in Miami. And it won't hurt if we're on a winning football team with a coach like Mike McDaniel, who's a player's coach, who people already seem to enjoy to be around. And if this all equates to winning football, maybe we do get a better deal than people would ever assume for Christian Wilkins and Mike Gesicki and so on and so forth. Maybe it becomes the Mecca again, where players aren't going to Miami to retire. They're going to Miami to win Super Bowls. The last thing on this list, and it's, hard thing to quantify, Dolphins will have a relatively healthy season. It's guys, it's a hard thing to equate. It's a hard thing to project. There is something about the Dolphins as of late. They back in the Gase years when everyone was getting injured, Stephen Ross and company started scrambling. They're like, what the hell is going on? Why are our guys getting injured? They hired a sports scientist. They started gathering soccer athletes, and they're from soccer teams. I know they went and got a guy from the endurance, and I forget what they called it. They went and poached somebody from I want to say it was something United. I can't remember. Manchester United, maybe it was. I don't know. It was one of those big time soccer leagues over in Europe, and got them brought over here. As of recent, this sports medicine and endurance program that they have, they've also gotten long distance runners coaches and long distance cyclist coaches. They have a big team of guys that they also wear these bands that test their potassium all day. They monitor their water, their sweat, how much they're getting in. The future is now with that type of stuff, and in recent memory, it's done pretty decent, and also it's something to be said about the workload and OTAs and what they do now and how they do it. I think they're doing all and everything they can to prevent injuries, and God, man, hopefully that's not something that we have to worry about. Injuries are a part of football, which is the most physical of all the professional sports. That is why every team loses about a half a dozen starters and or key reserves for 6 or more games a season. So we will see some people go down, guys. That's right here, average, you'll lose a half a dozen starters or key reserves every year, 6 or more games this season. What Miami can't do is lose too many key players. Hill, Howard, Waddle, Emmanuel Ogbah, Tungavaloa, Gesicki, Byron Jones, Brandon Jones, Baker, Armstead, or Holland. Those performances usually directly affect the outcome of games because the replacements or backups fall short of the standards. Now, every one of these players, Tua included, can miss a game or can miss the rest of a game. We can't have these guys going down for weeks at a time. It's no way to build a franchise. Tua in particularly, I think we all expect Teron Armstead to potentially miss some time, and or maybe they say, hey, let's sit you because we're playing so-and-so team who's banged up that we should easily beat, and we're going to put I don't know, at left tackle, Robert Jones at tackle. So there's got to be some load management. It's it's a long season in Miami, and the offensive line is really, we can't have these guys missing a bunch of freaking games, man. And I said this a lot. The offensive line needs to be looked at as an offensive line by committee. And I know people were like, "Oh, Chris, what are you talking about? Da 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 da." And I wanted to explain it to you guys that, listen, this offensive line is going to run as much, if not more, than anyone on the skill positions. And I know you guys are like, "What? No way, Tyreek Hill." No. You guys are going to understand that they're going to be asked to come off the ball and put yards in between them and the line of scrimmage every single play. Every single play, outside of one or two. But that's what zone blocking is, guys, especially outside zone blocking. It's, hey, we are going to move as an offensive line and as an offense laterally, north and south and laterally, every single play to get the defense running as much as us and get them to run the wrong way or run the right way that we want them to run. Well, we're going to go back this way. So it's very, very, very important that, some of these backup guys, Solomon Kinley, Dieter, Robert Jones, Greg Little, these guys will get, game time snaps. And it might not be because a guy's injured, but because, hey, we need to make sure these guys are healthy. And there might be a little bit of rotation, and it could serve us well. So I expect big things from this team, as we all do. The Dolphins expect big things from this team. The pressure is high, and we need results, guys. We really do. A lot of money, this team, this franchise, this fan base sucks. We've had to deal with a lot to be happy about. But don't be mad at the ones that are reserved, too. We've been hurt plenty by these Dolphins. We all just want to see them win. And I think the biggest thing to helping us win is to get this offensive line going, get this run game going, because the defense seems pretty well. I believe in the quarterback's ability to do this offense and be good enough to win football games in the NFL. I do. But it's going to only help him if he can go beyond the begin. If you're asking him in his third year in a new system to carry the offense, you're asking for trouble. You really are. Because it's going to take him a few weeks learning, running, going to operate at a high clip to him start looking like a top-end quarterback that he could potentially be. You start asking him to do too much too early, and you're going to see the thing that we don't want to see out of our quarterback. You're going to see him get injured. And I'm sorry to say that, guys, but it's what Nick Saban said about him, that he tries to do too much. And if he starts feeling like he's got to do too much and starts doing it, you're going to see bad plays, you're going to see injuries, you're going to see whatever. And we don't need that. Get this offensive line going, get this running game going, then allow Tua to start opening it up. And now defenses and defensive coordinators alike are looking at the film. And they're looking at the Dolphins going, we got to watch the run here. We got to remember about, Hill over there. And there's Waddle on this side. And when they run up in this, you give them more to think about, give them more to work for. And then you start putting it on the asses. And then all of a sudden, Tua's got a great long ball. And people are like, how'd that happen? Well, you know what? There's time in the pocket. He's able to step into his throws and put force into them. And he ain't all hurting from getting banged up. So there's a world in which everyone's right and nobody was wrong. So understand that, Dolphins fans. And don't try to gatekeep people one way or the other. Don't try to gaslight me on what I've seen up to this point. But don't try to gatekeep people either. Tua falters, We got to know why. If Tua succeeds, we got to know why. And it's a team sport. So start acting like a team franchise. Stop worrying about making people do shit around here. It's weak. So I don't have any much pushback on the 10 reasons why. I would say again, on defense, a big factor for me is if the O line, on offense, if the O line does what I said it needs to do, that's going to be golden. That's it. That's facts. But on the defensive side, if that secondary stays healthy, I think we're golden. And if both those two things happen, if this O line gets figured out and we're running the ball good and given to us some time, and the secondary stays healthy all year, I don't want to say we've all but punched our ticket, but I feel like we got an Ice Cube's chance in hell. No, wait, that's the wrong way. That's that's the other way around. My fault. I feel like we got every chance under the sun to win every game because we know this secondary is top end. We know this defense can play really good. And I expect more out of our pass rush from Phillips and Ingram being on this team, as well as Ogba taking a step that I don't think people are ready to see from him. And this O-line gives Tua time and puts the run on it. It's going to take some pressure off the defense. They're going to play a little looser. Everything's going to be golden. So that Dolphins realtor says we have to realize last year's 7-game streak, we got very lucky situations and bad teams. Listen, that ain't no lie, bro. A lot of those teams were injured, COVID. We played bad quarterbacks, backup quarterbacks, backup teams. We gotta understand that we're not gonna get lucky like that last year. There'll be some, and there'll be that one game we'll win that we shouldn't, and that one game we lost that we shouldn't. That's how it goes. And in between that, we need consistency. Now, I believe in our defense and what they do well, and that if you want to pass on us, it's hard. But forcing a team to pass comes with a lead on offense. And a lead on offense is best kept with a strong running game. Strong running game and controlling the time of possession puts all the pressure on the other team's offense to produce, which plays into the passing game and right into the Dolphins' strengths. So, all right, guys. Coming up to the hour 3 mark, everybody. Make sure you're hitting the like button, subscribing to the show. If you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, come over to the YouTube over here and subscribe to the network and hit the like button. Also, guys, make sure you're checking out all the great content. Tonk 7 TMI Tuesdays, live around 9 tomorrow. Color commentary on there with him. You can also catch Color on Thursdays doing his late night show. Coming out there, dropping it for the panel. Everyone can jump on. Saturday night, late night exhale with Ali. Color co-hosting with him too. Sometimes Tonk be grabbing on there. Maybe we'll get Tonk to co-host with Ali this Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Saturday, every time, anytime, my time, your time. El Capitan. Cash App, Venmo, Super Chat, help support the channel. Guys, we need your support. Fanatics in the link in the description. So you guys can help buy some stuff from Fanatics, and it'll help us with our partnership with them. You can also help us out with buying some of our stuff and represent. Help support the channel, you guys. So, the last thing I had for everybody. Yeah, you got fired, Color. You fired. Color, you fired. All right. No, your face is on the graphic, Color. I can't fire you now. That would take a whole new graphic. All righty. So, Tua Tagovailoa and the play action passing. So, guys, this is from Hassam. I had Hassam Patel on the other day on, I think it was Saturday. He has He's the director, and he does writing for a ABT or ATBnetwork.com. That's around the block. It's sports, writing and stuff like that. It's pretty awesome. You guys should check it out. They got all kinds of good stuff. Different teams, baseball, whatever you guys are into. And Hassam does, the Dolphins on there. We had this great article talking about the play action passing has become a staple of explosive offenses in the NFL. Here's how Mike McDaniel will bring it to Miami and help Tua Tagovailoa. So Tua Tagovailoa has become a hot topic this offseason, from pundits deciding if this would be his make or breaks year, which to me it is. It's a make or break year for Tua. Let's be real, guys. Additionally, a recent article from PFT's Mike Florio detailed that at free agent acquisition, Tyreek Hill has had low expectations for Tua. The third-year Dolphins quarterback has received the most criticism from the media, fans, and throughout last year's season, even players. One man is here to change that narrative: new head coach Mike McDaniel. Now, that's the first paragraph of this. I will say this, guys, and I want to know from you guys. Say Tua struggles learning the offense, and it's not out of the realm of possibility, because we heard from Chan Gailey and from Flores. Now, for both Chan Gailey and Flores, I will say this: neither one of them really wanted Tua. Chan Gailey wanted Fitzpatrick, and Flores wanted Deshaun Watson. Argue with me all you want, but it's the truth about both of them. Neither one of them wanted him. And both of them said that he had a hard time learning the playbook. Now, for that reason that they both didn't want him, they have reasons for saying he can't learn the playbook. So I don't want to have that be set in stone narrative. But let's play devil's advocate here, and for the sake of things, say Tua struggles learning this playbook with Mike McDaniel. How long does Mike McDaniel go throughout the season till he realizes or pulls the plug on Tua because he doesn't feel Tua can get it done? Whether that's right or wrong or whatever, don't give me the reasons why it will. I'm just saying, how many weeks does Mike McDaniel give Tua before he says, hey, no more of him. I can't take him. He's too busy, as Matt says, playing golf. I'm just being real, guys. If Tua struggles and he can't do it, see, all right, big Papa, 69, 8 weeks. Okay. All right. I like that. 8 weeks probably is a perfect judging point. I think he might take it a little bit longer. I will say 10 weeks, because 10 weeks, you could be so far or so not, and maybe they might still be in playoff contention or just outside of it or hanging on by a hair, and him go, that's it. I can't take it with Tua no more, because after this point, I'm going to lose my job. And it's something I've said before too. I mean, McDaniel's got to be all about Tua up to a point. He's got to remember also that he'll be a lame duck coach if he's not careful. And everyone who followed him here, including, Wes Welker, Frank Smith, Apple, everybody who's here doing their jobs, if Tua doesn't, he's gotta say, hey, I owe it to not only get Tua to be a starting quarterback, I owe it to everyone else who is doing their jobs and to the Dolphins fans to say this isn't working out, whether the organization wants it or not. It's just a fact, guys. I'm sorry. I hope we never have to worry about this, honestly. But I would say, so Todd, you say week 17. So you say ride it into the dirt. Well, what if that costs? What if that doesn't work? What if we take it into set week 17 And now McDaniel doesn't, get to keep his job no more. That would be terrible. I would tend to agree with you, Big Papa, that it's very rare that a coach only gets 1 year, but I don't know. Yeah, Q, you're right. 30 years of mediocrity. It has to end. Someone's got to put a stop to it. All right, so how Mike McDaniel will help Tua Tagovailoa. The big thing is that new head coach, Mike McDaniel, wants to do. McDaniel comes from the Shanahan coaching tree, the ever glorious wide zone bootleg play action world of Kyle Shanahan that has made Jimmy G, Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins all successful in the NFL. All quarterbacks that have limitations, all of which I would venture to say that Tua may not have the arm strength of Matt Ryan, but I would say he has equal to or better arm strength than Jimmy. And I don't know, Kirk Cousins got pretty decent arm strength. Maybe not these days, but there was a time Kirk Cousins could rip it. But I would say without a shadow of a doubt, from Jimmy G, Matt Ryan, and Kirk Cousins, that Tua has a much better athleticism to him. Mike McDaniel with Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay utilized 12-man personnel, mainly in their time down in Washington with the Washington Commanders, at the times Redskins. McVay now utilizes a spread concept using 11-man personnel to maximize his players' skill sets. Kyle Shanahan uses a 21 personnel to maximize his offensive players' skill sets and utilize the pistol formation, which Jimmy G loves to run the pistol. Daniel is able to use a combination of the two, but put his spin on it how he sees fit to maximize his player skill set, mainly Tua Tagovailoa. The easiest way to explain this offense McDaniel has helped culture through the past couple of years is to break down its two parts. It's a wide zone run scheme paired with a West Coast offensive style passing scheme. In terms of the West Coast offensive passing scheme, it involves a lot of play actions that can be deadly with a good running game. It is comprised of a lot of slants and crossing routes, which Tua's been good at those slants and crossing routes. This is perfect. This is a perfect offense for Tua Tagovailoa. It is truly maximizing everything he does well while limiting the things he does bad. Tua will be asked to make quick reads and throw the ball primarily into the middle of the field. Slants, crossing routes, screen passes, and dig routes are going to be the bread and butter of this offensive play calling and passing plays. And Tagovailoa excels in all of these routes. First thing first, play action passing. This offseason, the hottest names in Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel, who understands the vast superiority of the play action pass. Simply put, play action is the easiest way to scheme quarterbacks more time to create big plays downfield. A heart of it all, the outside zone, a very popular run concept in the NFL today, not only in its effectiveness, the play action off the outside zone affords the quarterback more time than normal to drop back while passing. So, real quick, and I'm going to explain this for everybody. That's how you see a bootleg that can roll either away from the blocking and there's no one out there because you did the bootleg towards to the weak side, which if there's only two linebackers because you have them spread thin and they jump over because you did pre-snap motion and bring everyone to your strong side and snap the ball and fake the handoff and bootleg out to the weak side, you now have everyone gone out in front of you. You've cut the field in half, in which case usually they can show 3 guys. You can have a tight end leak out. You also we showed you in that Hassan Patel where the tight end comes with and turns back around to be like the drop off, the out man. You also will have like a 3 layered with a tight end and probably someone going on a 9 route or a deep post, and someone coming across the field in the middle, finding all 3 of them in 3 different levels to find who you're looking for open. Now, a lot of times, and this is where if you're running that bootleg and in this play action gives you the time, hopefully it'll be where the safety isn't atop of Tyreek Hill and it's a corner running stride for stride with him, which case Tua should let it fly and let Tyreek do his job. So hopefully that's something to see. Another way is to run a bootleg in behind the off of the block that it's going that way. In which case, if he fakes the run in the play action and bootlegs it or rolls it back, he don't even have to bootleg. He could stay in the pocket. That's where it's going to set up the play I was talking about earlier, where if you have, say, 2 wide receivers on the right side, and even if at the last second the tight end comes across to now give you the right strong side and everyone goes to the right, he fakes to the left and rolls out and sits in the pocket. It's where the blocking goes out in front and say, you do like a double move and come across to get behind your blockers and do a little quick pass right behind them to Waddle or Hill. And now they've got guys out in front of it. It essentially is like they call it a something screen. We used to call it a short screen. But yeah, that's how big things can happen out of this play action in that. So, but all right. So, at the heart of the outside zone, it is a very, I just read that. The biggest question heading into the 2022 NFL season is if the Miami's new offensive line can block decently for Tua. Play action passing provides Tua more time to maneuver the pocket and throw the ball downfield. So here is the concept, and this was the play we showed you guys with Hassan the other day, and I want to show it to you again because I was talking about that bootleg and going essentially exactly what I just said. You're essentially going to fake the handoff on the play action and bootleg out to the weak side where just before the snap, the tight end or wide receiver comes running in motion behind. Yeah, Danny, it's kind of like a bubble screen that I'm talking about, but it's not a bubble screen. It's I'll if I can find it, I'll show you guys next time. But here's what I was talking about before in the bootleg, where you come out to the weak side where everyone went right and you're going left, and you still have 3 targets out in front of you. And that's what this scheme does. And whether everyone wants to know it or not, when Aaron Rodgers started struggling and they moved off of Mike McCarthy and got that new head coach that they got down, although they butt heads at first, he now sees, Aaron Rodgers, how much better this play calling is that has allowed him this, because they run the ball. It gives Aaron Rodgers some time to do the good. So let me go ahead and pull up this play because it's Aaron Rodgers doing it. Granted, Lazard made an amazing catch on this, but here it is in live action. Exactly what we're going to see from play action from here. So if you look, and that's a running back that was Ryan. I believe that's a running back that's lined up in the slot. And he goes into motion. And look, he was right behind the quarterback when the ball was snapped. So to any good linebacker and anyone playing, they're like, oh, here comes the lead blocker, the running back that was down in the slot is coming out. They're snapping the ball. Now, we see this a lot where it's a quick jet sweep like this. But also, that is now he's the lead blocker. So it sucks everybody up. The linebackers start playing towards the play, but it's actually a bootleg. Now look at all that room. Look, Aaron Rodgers does what Aaron Rodgers did. He points, says, look, I'm coming. I'm going for the big shot. And he takes the deep shot because his wide receiver had to step on him. Lazard made an amazing play on that. You can watch it here in full speed now. Look. Lazard lays out for it. But again, that's what we need to see. Tyreek Hill. And now in this play, it seemed like there was only 2 targets, but really there's 3. So at the end of the line, there's the running back, number 32, and then the wide receiver that's at the line, number 13, who's Lazard, I think, as that goes in. But right behind him, this is 12 man here, is the tight end. Well, the tight end sells the zone block to the right, but then comes back to be the third option for if he needed to be bailed out in the flat. So look, I don't know if you could see my thing, but essentially right there, all 3 guys closest to the screen, one is at the 50-yard line, closest to Aaron Rodgers, that's the tight end. Down is the guy in the slot. Now, he could have taken that, but he didn't. He took, all 3 of these guys are essentially open for a guy like Aaron Rodgers and Tua for that matter. So it gives you 3 options. He just took the deep shot because he wants it all. He puts, 60 air yards underneath it to get it there. But this is the type of play action we can sell because Tua is going to be able to run it, especially to the left, too, to his dominant hand. Yeah, give me some of that, Dolphins. So let's continue with the article. More and more teams are beginning to buy into the line of thinking, for instance, with the play action rate in the NFL in 2018 reaching 24%. Expect the Dolphins to be one of them. Per PFF, Tua Tagovailoa has an 80.3 grade on play action passes, and the offense as a whole has an 82.3. In other words, when there's a successful fake, he usually makes the magic happen. Tua is out of the play action. He was 5th with 121 completions. He also rated 5th in completion rate, which is 71.6. And he was 8th in yards with 1,375. Now, remember, I'm giving you all these statistics, and he missed significant time. He missed significant time. So hopefully this will become a staple of this new zone blocking that McDaniel has brought here. It's essentially a flood concept. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the picture they have here to help illustrate what we're talking about. But it's also a staple of the Niners offense. McDaniel is bringing with the fullback and tight ends used as, to come across in the formation and be that extra thing for cutbacks like we just seen, where the guys go into it and then he cuts back to be that third option. So it's a flood concept. Take advantage of these overflowing defenses moving to that side, essentially giving, only a couple of players. You take everyone out of it, and maybe you have 3 options in your tight end or fullback, your wide receiver 2 and your wide receiver 1. The wide receiver 1 streaking on a 9 route and your wide receiver 2 coming across the edge of the play. So here, I'm going to see if I could pull this up. This picture I have here. Is it going to work? Let me see if I can get this pulled up for you guys to see it. You guys see that? So essentially, and as you can see, if it's man coverage, you essentially bring, well, look, this route, they have the fullback coming across as the leak, this giving you 4 options. With, if the outside pass rusher that's in red by the line comes in on the chip, your tight end chips him, and then maybe your fullback might has to end him off. But essentially, you only have man-to-man coverage with 4 options on that side, and that's gonna spell a win for you. Let's see if we can pull this up. Oh, beautiful. Hold on. This is the play. Score. Jeez. It is not playing all that well. Wow. This is the skippiest. It's just a bunch of pictures, but you know what? That's not a really good example to see. See if I can find another one. But staple of the 49ers offense, using the cutbacks with the flood offense, the flood concept with the Niners run game reputation and establishing tendencies. This leaves wide open windows for play action off of it. The beauty of the play action is that it can create simple reads and make them even easier. Mike McDaniel and Kyle Shanahan did an amazing job giving Garoppolo easy reads and setting him up for success by scheming guys open and allowing for easy completions, which is exactly what we should see. And look, that's what's going to help Tua, guys. Let's be real. If he can get some of this going and get it going well, maybe he'll grow more into then putting his ass on him, giving it to him. That's what I want to see. I want to see that moment where he's like a duck on water. He's in his element. He's doing what he needs to do, and he's got the eye of the tiger, and he just putting it on the asses. That's what I want to see. Boot action and rollouts and play action passing. Bootlegs are nothing new, yet the rebirth of the outside zone, then boot idea has led to one specific change. The boot action is no longer a specific down and distance call. It's no longer about moving the chains on third or bluffing on early to steal 10 yards. The boot action and rollout has become the go-to way of the league's most prominent offenses to hit explosive plays. The NFL and league of explosives, hit as many as you can, stop as many as you can. That's it. The passing era, the entire ball game. I believe it's the key of unlocking an explosive Miami Dolphins offense, which this is how it works. And Hassam goes to tell you, bootleg passes have several advantages, but one major disadvantage: they only attack one side of the field. That ain't no bullshit. And Tua isn't the type of guy with the type of arm, and very few guys are, to be able to put the ball off of a bootleg back across the other side of the field. Now, there is guys that do it, and I'm not saying he couldn't take that shot. It's ill-advised because of all the back traffic, and you get lost in seeing things. But there is a way where he can step up and sidearm one like Patrick Mahomes does, but I wouldn't recommend it. In other words, they look like running plays, slowing the pass rush, drawing the linebackers close to the line of scrimmage, and open up passing lanes. Run action also slows the pass rush, and the movement of the quarterback forces defensive linemen to change their rushing angle. Finally, play action bootlegs usually move one side of the field with receivers while putting the quarterback in position to execute short and easy throws. As you see, it brings 4 guys around, giving you several targets in a level to see them all as you're moving. And if you start trusting your deep throw with some of the weaponry, and you have time because no one's out in front of you. Now, if everyone's covered, guess what? That usually means that there's a place in where you can run the ball. So the use of the boot has steadily trickled up across the league. The quarterback, offensive line, and running backs are set up like it's outside zone. Everybody kicks away. It looks like outside zone. Kicks one way and it looks like outside zone. However, only the quarterback keeps the ball, rolls to the outside, away from the pass rush, and then surveys the landscape. Traditionally, bootleg concepts are built like any old flood concept. There's a deep route, an intermediate route, and a short route, giving 3. The modern game, with almost all about the quarterback's almost all about just how about with almost all just about quarterbacks mobile enough to be perimeter threat. The quarterback has the own option. If nothing's open, he can run the ball himself. That's literally what I was just saying. It also means if everyone's covered, that means the quarterback can keep the ball because they're got their back to him. They're covering that guy. Well, I'm running with it, which is something Tua can definitely do. And when we talked about Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G, and what was the third quarterback they said from earlier? Matt Ryan, none of which have the wheels I think Tua's got. And that's not saying – it's not like saying Tua's Lamar Jackson, let's be real. But he looks like Lamar Jackson compared to, Matt Ryan running the ball or whatever. Usually the quarterback rolls, opens up his hips, and fires to the receiver swooping across the field. The defense bites one way, and the ball is thrown the other. And we've seen Tua do this and do it in effectiveness. Here's a little bit. Oops. Here's a couple of snapshots from the NFL of that being played. I'll show it to you guys. Hold on. It's like a slideshow of Tua completing some of these right now, these bootlegs. This is the Arizona game, which is something Chan Gailey called, but we didn't call last year, which kind of pissed a lot of us off. We're like, why aren't we rolling the ball out? Now, if you look, and I'm going to stop it right here, I don't know why they're bunched on top of each other up there, which we've seen plenty of. But look, Tua right now has a guy in front of him that's covered. He's got 2 guys in the middle of the field, and he also has, it looks like Devontae Parker down at the bottom here, which the safety seems to be breaking down from the top. But look how deep he had to play, even though we don't have anybody that could burn back in 2020. I don't know why Devontae stopped, but the ball was put to Gesicki. It was the right throw in the right area. And if you look as well, it is where the soft spot is. I mean, that's where the soft spot's at. So Mike McDaniel can utilize the boot action and play action passes to help Tua. Tua Tagovailoa on RPO plays was first in passing, third in most passed attempts in the NFL as a QB, 6th most RPO plays called last year. Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, top 2 in RPO plays called in past attempts. Really? While it might be true that the Dolphins led the league in RPO passing down the field, many forget about Tua's play action game. Per Pro Football Reference, Tua Tagovailoa had the 11th highest play action pass attempts with 113. Now, let me see here. Such a wealth of knowledge. Man. Yeah, so I'm really sure that we'll see some plenty of play action and bootlegs. Another thing to give us an idea of some stuff. Expect the Dolphins to use it a lot because the Niners used plenty of it. 49ers were a play action heavy with McDaniel using some RPO. Tua had 43.6% of his throws in Alabama came out of the play action. So almost half of his throws came out of play action. We've heard a lot about the RPO, but not nearly as much about his play action as we probably should. Tua was 8th best in play action in 2022, like I just said, but also in to understand that Jimmy Garoppolo and the Niners used play action. So presuming RPOs are considered play action, or excuse me, assuming RPOs are also considered play action, San Francisco 49ers played 31% of their play action used in their attempts, in their passing attempts. So that means 31% of their actual passes were done out of the play action or RPO, with Jimmy Garoppolo accounting for 147 passes out of 441. Most of the 49ers play action passes in 2021 came from under the shotgun compared to the usual Shanahan system, which, if you guys remember from Hassan, and as we've heard along, that's a preference for McDaniel. And we heard it also from McDaniel that they found that over time that it was what Garoppolo liked doing, under center, rolling, putting his back to him. It gave him more time to survey and how they played. I don't know if that's going to be Tua's deal. I like when a quarterback comes out of the under center and essentially shows his back to the defense, because as a middle linebacker and how much linebacker I played, it was the hardest for me to know what was going on. If they reached out and, play actioned or whatever, it was the hardest for me when they did that RPO and they're looking and did it out of the pistol or out of the shotgun and they're holding the ball and doing that. That shit never faked nobody. It takes up too much time. It's a waste of time. It always did. It always wasted time, and good linebacking play always fucks it up. And it resulted too much on the short game. It never looked downfield because it just wasted too much time taking not only the running back out, but essentially faking. It's just, I hate RPO for that reason. Most of the 49ers play action passes in 2021 came from under center compared to the quarterback under center, him turning and handing off and throwing on a play action or bootleg. The play action pass from under center in particularly was the staple of the Shanahan offense. Shanahan usual ways is not the play action system for Tua, neither Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's consider RPOs as play action passes in 2021. All right, hold up. 2021 became the year where McDaniel's help came into play, with Shanahan changing his philosophy. From week 8 onward, the 49ers were exclusively a shotgun instead of under center. Per Sharp football stats, the 49ers were in shotgun 67% of all passes in 2021, coming in 13th of the NFL teams and increased from 20th in the year before. When asked about the changes from going under center to shotgun, here's what McDaniel had to say. So here's the deal. Well, Jimmy, okay, so let me take a step back. It was why they switched the shotgun, not why they did it under center, because that's what Jimmy liked, and they're going to talk about it here. I got it mixed up. I personally like it under center because, to me, it's if you can do it quick and fast, which I think Tua is much faster and quicker than Jimmy is, and you can run it under center, you can look just like how it did with Rodgers out there. That's the play you get to suck the play action in, and the linebackers always come up because just works that way. I don't know how to tell you. In the battle of football and in the heat of it, anytime I see a quarterback in shotgun, I'm thinking he's passing. It's just my first instinct. But when they're under center and they take that snap and they roll out, you have to freeze your feet. It's just how it works. I'm sorry, but I think we'll see that from Tua. I think he has the ability to run it with his legs way better than Jimmy was. But here's what Jimmy had to say why they switched, or what McDaniel had to say. Well, Jimmy's a lot more decisive in the gun. He likes it. He likes to see it while he's delivering tight window throws, minimizing pass exclusive situations where on the first and second down you can do I don't know why they do this. Can do it if you have the threat of the run out of the gun. And we had to kind of evolve. Kyle in 2019 really started noticing that and put pressure on us to evolve. And every week figured out different ways to do the same thing, maybe with a couple of wrinkles. Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo's efficiency and decisiveness went up towards the middle weeks of the NFL season, a huge part of driving San Francisco into the playoffs. Not surprising, it's not something new to Mike McDaniel. As the offensive assistant in Washington, McDaniel and Shanahan took the league by storm by utilizing the read option with RG3's effectiveness in the run game. Play action passing with Tua, similar to Garoppolo, is Tua Tagovailoa, and the fact that Tua's decisiveness can be into the no huddle and up-tempo shotgun-based offensive system. It's one of his biggest strengths. I will give that to him. Here it is, a play out of the shotgun on a play action. I'll show you a little clip here. Right there, play action to there, or the RPO. But it essentially, out of the shotgun, coming up to the top of the screen is in motion was forward. Play action, looks downfield, in the slant, right in the pocket too. And it's a tight window throw. It's not make no bones about it. And Tua did a good job looking him off. Look at how the linebacker had to turn around and come and try to find someone to get because he knew it was a passing play. And he already had the step on him. Funk. Right on the money. See that? Not bad. That was about the only type of route. Well, I don't know about the only, but one of the most effective routes for what's his name? Vern. What's going on here? So Jalen Waddle runs a go route. And it looks like Tua's first read. Tua identifies the bracket coverage on Waddle as he's seen in there and shifts towards Devontae Parker for his second read. Tua moves the linebacker Rashad Evans with his eyes and holds him in the middle towards Waddle, which he saw. That's what I was saying. He's seen him look him off to do that. Creates an opening down the middle, which he gunned it, and hit him on the play action. So can't ask for anything better than that. New play action sequences for Tua Tagovailoa. One of the most useful play actions calls by San Francisco under Mike McDaniel is called the drift. Now, you guys remember with Hassam on there, he was talking about drift being a staple in their offense. It's a quick hitting play that hits the zone that's vacated by the linebackers, kind of what we just seen. And it's, again, all of this is predicated on a good run game, because you could sit there and, let the ball play around and throw it all day, and it don't, everyone's like, I don't think you're running the football. I'm just going to have my pass rusher go at the quarterback and not even worry about him more often than not. I'm going to pull up, and I've shown you guys this before and after. And this is something that we're going to see a lot of, especially now that we have a fullback, and thank God. So here it is. There's the hot. Comes out. Also, right out of this same exact lineup, you can then take your Y, which is your tight end, and have him come in motion behind the quarterback and switch it to the other side, essentially moving everything around and still keeping the same route concepts at the same time. So out of this one single formation, they could run 5 different plays easy, and changing who the route goes to as well. So, which is kind of something we're going to see. We're going to see a base offense, but run 10 different ways where it's going to look the same every time. And this is something we've seen a lot of. It's confusing to a defense. Or like, it doesn't allow you to anticipate anything. And when you do, and you think you've got them dead to rights and are anticipating something, you in fact are going to bite. Now, sometimes you could be right, but it's really where the good offensive coaching play calling comes into it. And we hear this from Mystic Mike, his ability to predict what the defense is going to do. Well, that's not by accident, guys. It's by design. You're showing them this formation. You're running this play. You're running it a certain way. And then also, although everyone's moving the same as it did last time, it's in fact much different. Much different. And you'll have to see. That's right. The X's and O's. So this drift, this quick hitting drift, as we just seen, I'll show you guys again what it looks like this play. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Really quickly. We're going to show you that drift play in live action. So here it comes. Fakes, funk right across. Now, if you look, he could have also waited and probably taken the deep shot too. Look, the safety comes up to make the play. If you had a pump faked him, you could have hit that deep shot. If you could have pump faked that safety in the middle, and Jimmy had the time too. Nobody was coming. You had max protection, really. Thump. It's a good play, but man, if he could have took that shot over the top of the safety's head, it could have been a freaking crazy-ass play. All right, let's try to move on here. That's the Wanda Man Pro. Oh, no, that's going to be next. This is the run fake that draws up the linebackers into open zones that you can do behind them. Also, again, if you start really taking it to them, they see that play. You show them that play, and McDaniel calls, hey, pump fake it to that guy and take the deep shot on Tyreek or Waddle, and Tyreek's the guy you're faking it to. Man, oh, man. The most basic of play action and concepts open up the biggest throwing lanes in an offense. Do expect this drift concept to be utilized in 2022, especially with Tua. This is now how in McDaniel, how the RPO gives a boost in the play action game. So per PFF, the Dolphins had 63 downfield RPO throws beyond 3 yards. Wait a minute. Which is the highest figure since 2016. These downfield RPOs usually enhance the team's play efficiency in the run game, giving it a boost in the play action passing. In addition, in 2021, Dolphins RPO system was generally a one-read system as it was meant for only one person, which we've heard Tua say that exactly. This will change as McDaniel brings a different philosophy to the team's RPO and improving along the offensive line, especially. It all starts with the concept called Wanda. So the Wanda, which is Wanda Man Pro, and we talked about this. It's a lot to break down, but it essentially weak surface or the open side run concept with man blocking principles. The routes consist of slants and go routes and bubble screens and things like that, or hitches. The run option not used for the running back, used running back pass block or wheel or flat. So you get it's really an all around option depending on the plays, but it's going to look like a base offense out of the shotgun that they're going to have wrinkles in it. And if guys get out of position because you're running the RPO with the play action effectively, it's going to really put a damper in offenses. The biggest difference is that the football isn't given to the running back in the quarterback's first read, and the running back himself can become another outlet instead of that. So you have fake in the Wanda, the RPO, but then ended up throwing him the ball because everyone else is stretching them down the field, essentially suckering them from the RPO. They're like, oh, they're not going to da-da-da-da, and it takes the linebacker sees the RPO and takes him out of mind, and the running back's out of the play. He's going to be blocking if I'm blitzing. Well, that isn't what happens. It's actually a pass meant for him by providing another read for the quarterback. The running back runs a wheel concept, giving another downfield passing threat if the blocking is solid. This threat of the passing will open up running lanes against running backs in the RPO. So once you start doing this play action RPO, then it'll get everyone to freeze their heels, especially when you're snapping it fast. And you can run this whole concept out of the same base lineup that you were running the drift or just a regular, passing play where you just sit there, you don't do it, or a draw. You can run a draw right out of that same play, and it is what it is. Fortunately, Miami signed Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds, who have ample experience in this type of offense. So we'll see those guys, and Sonny Michel, who's played a little bit of it as well. I will say this about Myles Gaskins. He played a lot of outside zone in college, so don't think that he can't, put his 2 cents in this. Will these play action passing concepts work? That's yet to be seen. We got to really give it some time, but shout out to Hassan Patel, who put together a lot of this work, guys. Make sure you guys are going and checking him out on Twitter. He did a lot of the good digging on this, and it's great work. It's really what we can come to expect and what I expect from this Dolphins team. So let's go ahead and do one last rundown, guys. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel. Make sure you guys are coming back and checking out Tonk 7 TMI Tuesdays, live around 9, with co-host Color on there with him. Also, you guys can catch Color on Thursdays doing his late night commentary. Then Saturdays, we got Late Night Exhale with Ali doing it right. Every other night of the week, you got TFTG El Capitan doing it how you know. Make sure you guys are checking it all out. Cash App, Venmo, please support the channel, guys. We need all the help you can. Also, you can help by buying some of our good stuff and Fanatics good stuff. So, yeah, guys, that's all I got for you today. We're working on some back office stuff. Make sure you guys are checking out all the great shows we got, supporting the channel, supporting the program. And I'll see you guys you know, mañana, something. Take it easy.